Uganda, like many developing countries, has gone through different stages of socio-economic transformation. In the past, our country experienced incidences of stagnation when all development efforts proved futile, mainly due to political turmoil and subsequent insecurity. However, the journey from 1986 to date, our country has undergone significant and impressive achievements over the years. Uganda, under President Yoweri Museveni, has noticeable dividends in the last 32 years. Under the NRM government, President Museveni tirelessly preached two principles of patriotism and Pan-Africanism that have pushed unity among our people and to ensure our prosperity and security.
We are looking at about 6 pillars of transformation. The first one is to modernize and professionalize UPDF as an army. Professionalization in terms of training, equipment, ideological clarity, and as far as we are concerned, UPDF is one of the highly and well-trained armies on the African continent and even in the world. UPDF is an institution that is following up on its retirees. It has an institutional mechanism of looking after soldiers who have left service. I must say the welfare of the army is also being looked at, and we are also trying to institutionalize research and development.
Apart from peace and security, government prioritized 4 sectors: education for all through UPE and USE, liberalization of the economy, improved health and health infrastructure, especially immunization, and improved infrastructure in roads, electricity, telephone, the ICT backbone, piped water, safe water in the villages, among others, and tourism. As a consequence of these steps, the literacy rate is now 75%, up from 43% in 1986. The social base for socio-economic transformation has therefore been laid. The government is pushing to use this to transform the society permanently.
One of the areas that we set out to address was provision of tertiary health services to the population of Uganda. And in this regard, we have renovated Mulago, we have constructed a standalone women's hospital. The Uganda Heart Institute was able to have breakthrough surgeries that are one of the first in the region. We have had a number of constructions on the lower level health facilities. Most of these constructions have been to upgrade Health Center 3s to Health Center 4s, but also upgrade Health Center 2s to Health Center 3s.
We are almost completing a huge sewage project, about 45,000 cubic meters per day at Bugorobi, and this project is even going to generate power, biogas, which is going to be used to run the plant itself, which requires a lot of power. There is also another project called Lake Victoria Watson project, and this project is aimed at adding more than 210,000 cubic meters of water per day. We have already delivered about 50,000 cubic meters of water per day. We are of course also working with the World Bank on a number of projects, flagship projects in Arua, in Guru, in Mbare, in Bushenyi. The Arua project is almost finished. The Guru project has just started. The Bushenyi project is almost finished, and the Mbare project will soon start. We have finished the project in Kapeka, and the people of Kapeka now have reliable supply. Even the industrial park which is taking place there will also be ably supplied by this project which we have put there using our own resources.
The fourth principle of government is the democracy. Uganda's democracy pushed by the NRM is much richer than anything anybody has attempted to do in the world. Women have been empowered, the youth, the workers, the disabled, the soldiers, among others.
There is no doubt that this NRM government ushered in democracy from where we found the country in 1986 to where we are. we can be able to conduct elections freely, and the NRM also loses in some situations. No matter whether the head of state, the president and the party chairperson has showed interest in a particular election.
The paved network of the national roads is increasing every year, and over the years we've been tracking progress. In 1986, the paved network was only 1,500 kilometers. 2008, when UNRWA was created, the paved network had grown to 2,800, and currently we have a paved network of 4,257 kilometers. And this is going to grow because we now have 22 road projects totaling about 1,420. We are looking into the next few years with many flagship projects. The Kampala-Jinja Expressway is coming on board. The flyovers in the city are coming on board. We have the New Nile Bridge, we have Entebbe Expressway. So the future really is bright, and we will continue to ensure that we support the economy by connecting to primary growth areas so that the economy can actually have a good infrastructure to build on.
President Museveni is a veteran of fighting poverty and working for socio-economic transformation in Uganda, having started this struggle in earnest in the Christmas of 1966 in the Butaka area. Since 1995, Museveni has been drawing the attention of the political class to that living example. Like the parable of the sower goes, much of the seeds fell on rocky ground and did not germinate. In the research stations, and also working with some farmers, government has worked out a packaging for the crop areas through a 4 acres plan, an initiative he has demonstrated through the presidential demonstration farms. Agriculture, however, will not be the only path for socio-economic transformation, although it will provide raw materials for a wide spectrum of industries like dairy, beef, textiles, fruits, grain milling, coffee, tea, cocoa, sugar, wood products, tobacco, medicinal herbs, among others.
We have been able to actually generate different technologies in terms of crop varieties. Look at the maize that we have in this country. I must make a submission that all the varieties that we are cultivating now has passed through the hands of neuroscientists. Look at the beans. And now we are not even just looking at increasing productivity and production. You look at aspects of increasing the nutrient density. I believe when I talk about the biofortified beans to enrich you zinc and iron, it's not news to you. Look at banana. And as we know, Uganda is actually the second largest banana producing country in this world. We don't just look at production this time. We also look at the aspects of biofortification to enrich it actually iron and definitely vitamin A.
The other industries will be based on minerals.
In as far as exploration is concerned, we started off with the first bidding round, which was a competitive way of getting on board. We signed this month exploration license with the Ama Energy Limited from Australia. Early next month we are signing with the Oranto Petroleum Limited, a company from Nigeria. It's also joining us to do exploration in Albertine Graben. Now for these existing companies that we have already given production licenses, they are now preparing for production so that we can have first oil 2020. A lot of activity is going on right now. We've given production licenses to the 3 oil companies that we already have in place, Talo Oil, Total, and Sinok.
We have been very active partners in this oil and gas business to ensure that all the exploration activities do not compromise the environment. You know that our oil is being got from a very fragile ecosystems, the national parks. We want the tourism to continue, but we also want the oil. Our work as NEMA is to ensure that the oil is extracted in a manner that the environment is not destroyed. So far, we've succeeded. The exploration phases that have been concluded, now we're moving to the one for production. We've ensured that the processes have all gone without any contamination taking place.
Apart from industries based on agriculture and those based on minerals, There are also those based on human skills such as the ICT innovations, Kira electric car, the Corolla electric bus, the multiple computer applications developed by our computer scientists, among others.
This sector has made it possible for 17 trillion mobile money transactions per quarter. We have also made it possible for internet to reach everybody by introducing 3G in every area, and within 12 months, the whole country will be covered in 3G, that is high-speed internet, and in 24 months, we shall have introduced high-speed internet of the class of fourth generation, popularly known as 4G. We've established 34 public service providers of voice and data, 23 public infrastructure providers, 24 postal and courier services, 292 radio stations, and 100% sound radio coverage that we have achieved. We've got 4 digital satellite TV stations in this country, 18 digital terrestrial television, broadcasting transmitters across the country, 28 free-to-air TV stations, and over 24 million mobile and fixed telephone subscriptions. We have cellular penetration that has risen beyond 80% of the total population of this country. We have established and we have been running a research and development effort in emerging areas like big data, artificial intelligence, blockchain and distributed ledger technology, robotics, Internet of Things, nanotechnology and quantum computing. We are moving towards contributing up to 10% of GDP as a sector.
The services sectors are already providing important stimuli for modernization, tourism, transport, banking, trading, insurance, professional services, among others. The 5 wealth and job creation funds will assist those who cannot raise their own capital. These funds are the NADS Fund, the Youth Fund, the Women Fund, the Microfinance Fund, and the Innovation Fund. President Museveni also initiated the Presidential Initiative on Skilling the Girl Child and Youth Empowerment Programs for URN youth.
We started with about 881 girls, that is in 2017. Now we have about 4,895 girls.
These have proved to be great job creators for thousands of youth in tailoring, weaving, hairdressing, embroidery, bakery and confectionery, shoemaking, among others. Through foreign direct investment and the activities of the bigger investors, the NRM government shall create bigger units, factories for sugar, steel, fertilizers, and others. Socio-economic transformation is commonly defined as a process in which an increasing proportion of economic output and employment are generated by sectors other than agriculture. This process of transformation means that the shift from agriculture-based societies to urban industrial or service-based economies with sustained high GDP growth rates have been achieved. We are, therefore, in a position to tackle, step by step, the residual problems and convert Uganda into a middle-income country by 2020 and an upper middle-income country by 2040.